Good morning, everyone. 9 a.m. on this Monday, July 27th. It is 69 degrees, and we are continuing to stream Daybreak through 9:30 this morning. And we want to start with that water main break in South Buffalo we've been telling you about all morning long. Crews were called to Downing Street around 1 o'clock this morning after that main broke overnight. You can see the water flooding the street as the Water Authority works to make repairs. At last check, less than an hour ago, the area between Hines and Sibley Streets remained closed. We'll let you know when it reopens. We're also waiting to get more details after New York State Parks Police recovered a body that was floating in the Niagara River over the weekend. In a statement, Parks Police say the medical examiner's office is working to identify the body and notify next of kin. Now, the body was spotted by a drone operator who was searching the lower gorge on Saturday. It's not uncommon to have a few days lag from when a body is found to when law enforcement confirm an identity. But we've been closely monitoring the situation involving Ong La since he was first reported missing on Wednesday morning. Parks Police say La fell into the water while he was fishing with 5 others in a restricted section of the Niagara Gorge right near Whirlpool State Park and Devil's Hole. That incident sparked a large response, with crews searching the dangerous and fast-moving section of the gorge. That search turned into a recovery mission after days of not finding anyone. The Kenton School District has shared its condolences with the family and friends of Law, who is believed to be dead, even if the body recovered this weekend is not his. We're also working to verify an online fundraiser that was set up last night for Law's family. Well, take a look at this video here. Yeah, that is an SUV that has crashed through the side of a Burger King in Hamburg. And now we know what led up to that wild scene. Police say it all started Saturday morning around 5 a.m. when they were chasing 3 vehicles that were allegedly stolen from Hamburg and Cheektowaga. The chase started on Southwestern Boulevard near Camp Road, and police say one of the drivers of the stolen car lost control while trying to turn onto McKinley Parkway, and that's when he crashed into the side of that Burger King. The driver allegedly tried to run away, but was eventually caught. That person was identified as a 16-year-old from Buffalo. The teen was arraigned and released and is expected back in court at a later time. The other 2 stolen cars from Hamburg have not yet been found. Take a look at this video from Medina. A home has been completely reduced to a pile of rubble after a huge fire Saturday morning. Firefighters were called to Prospect Street just after 4 a.m. The fire was so large, 8 of Orleans County's 11 fire departments were called in to help, as well as several other departments from Niagara, Monroe, and Genesee counties. We're told 3 people got out okay, but the fire quickly spread to a nearby home. Firefighters had to wake up those who lived in there so that they could get out safely.
I can't say enough about the crews that got into that building and made a stop. The homes were only 20 feet apart. We could have lost this block of homes really quickly had we not had the right people in the right places.
Chief Cooley says 1 dog and 1 cat did die in the fire. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but investigators believe it started on the porch. And in North Tonawanda, 2 young people are recovering following a head-on crash involving 2 jet skis on the Niagara River. Firefighters tell us that crews were called to Gratwick Park just before 3 p.m. on Saturday. Investigators say 4 people, 2 on each jet ski, were thrown into the water. By the time first responders arrived, people on other jet skis had already started rescuing the victims and bringing them to shore. 2 of those involved, both under the age of 18, were taken to a hospital, and we haven't gotten an update on their conditions. Buffalo police are investigating a shooting that sent a man to the hospital with serious injuries. It happened yesterday morning around 5:30 on Purdy Street. Buffalo police say they found a man who had been shot in the back, arm, and chest. He was taken by ambulance to the hospital. We're told his injuries are serious. Anyone with information is asked to call or text 911 or contact Buffalo's confidential tip line at 716-847-2255. And an update now from state and federal officials on radiation concerns in Niagara and Erie counties. DEC and EPA officials say significant progress is being made in their investigation. Assessment teams visited nearly 350 properties on Saturday and secured more than 110 new agreements from homeowners, allowing crews to conduct radiation screenings. As we've been reporting, families in Niagara and Erie counties have been concerned about industrial waste around their homes. As a precaution, officials have offered to move 4 families out of their homes in the town of Niagara while further sampling and evaluations are conducted. 3 people were killed and 4 others, including a toddler, were hurt in a shooting at a major food festival in Seattle. The city's mayor says 1 suspect was taken into custody and the search continues for another. NBC's Alice Barr has the details from Washington this morning.
Terror and tragedy in Seattle, where police say 3 people are dead, at least 4 others injured but stable, including a toddler, after a shooting at a packed food festival in the heart of the city. Witnesses started hearing pops.
What I thought were firecrackers, and people started yelling, shooter, shooter. And there was like a stampede of people just running. My dad was outside, so I ran out to pull him in because they were stepping over people.
Police believe 2 people were shooting at each other and say officers quickly responded.
They were right there. They heard the shots and confronted the suspect that they saw actually shooting and stopped that shooting from continuing.
1 suspect is now in custody. Police believe a second one fled, but say they do not think there's an ongoing threat to the community. Investigators have recovered 2 guns at the scene and are asking for witnesses to come forward.
We can't solve this without help from our community. So please, if you have information, give us a call. 1
witness described what he saw.
I saw at least 1 individual with a switch, semi-automatic. I saw another one that was 2. That's when I heard over that those shots fired. That's when I took off around the corner.
Others ran to help.
Other one were doing CPR. People were grabbing people, chairs to help them put them up.
It all happened at the popular Bite of Seattle that's billed as drawing 350,000 people over 3 days near the iconic Space Needle. City leaders mourning.
My heart right now is with the victims and their families and with everyone in our community who is reeling from what happened here today.
As investigators work to piece together a heartbreaking scene. Seattle area Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal said the FBI has been in contact with local authorities and that all levels of government are coordinating to make sure officials there get whatever federal resources they need. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Alice, thank you. Firefighters in Spain and France are battling fast-moving wildfires. This is video from Spain, where tens of thousands of people have been forced to evacuate their homes. The blaze in Castellon province has burned 8 square miles of land and has now entered the Serra d'Espada National Park. And in France, more than 200,000 people have evacuated, and the flames are creeping closer to the wine region city of Bordeaux. Terrible situation there, Patrick. And some extreme weather here in the U.S. also.
Extreme
weather in the U.S., like some flooding on the East Coast, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, there's been some floods. I will say it's summer weather here. We do get flooding events. Forest fires have been occurring. Luckily, the amount of acreage burned so far has been very low. However, the fires that have occurred have had an impact here because of the smoke that's come our way. But yeah, there has been some flooding around. That has been the case. Where was that?
Where? What?
Where was the flooding? Kentucky, I think? Where was it? I'm not sure. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's go. Headlines. Warm and partly cloudy, it looks like, for the day today. Damp through Wednesday, and it looks like we're going to see showers today or tonight. Certainly, some of the rain could be heavy through Wednesday, and then the long range rain ends on Thursday with dry conditions as we head into the weekend and the start of a new month, August. On what's been a very dry July here, and what's been interesting, it's been warm, but we've yet to have a 90-degree day this month. That can happen from time to time. There are passing clouds out there, a little haze as well. There will be a couple of showers trying to get going, mainly on the other side of the border. However, some may sneak in, but a better chance of rain comes overnight tonight. And I have a hunch, Melissa, when you're driving into work tomorrow, when we're covering it, it will be raining, and some of it could be heavy into potentially the morning drive. Then the rest of the day will be just kind of cloudy with some scattered showers around. Any impact will be really early in the morning, is how we see it. But still, there is room for showers and a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon as well. Okay, but it just doesn't look as heavy as it will be in the morning. On Wednesday, notice how showers continue to pivot back in on Wednesday with some clouds and cooler numbers, damp weather into Wednesday, and then by Thursday it should move out of here. And again, I think there's an inch or two of rain in the cards for many of us over that 2-day period beginning tonight. So partly cloudy today, 82 to 83 degrees, a little cooler tomorrow with numbers in the 70s. Long range forecast. We've got rain Tuesday into Wednesday, or at least a chance of it. Well, no, it's not a chance. It's going to rain. Thursday, Friday look dry. Saturday looks pretty good with a chance of a few showers and a thunderstorm or two on Sunday.
Okay. All right, Patrick, thank you. Okay, stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll have much more coming up after this. Welcome back, everybody. As we count down the days to the first home game at the Bills' new Highmark Stadium, we're learning more about some of the new rules for fans in the parking lots. You can expect that treasured game day experience of tailgating to maybe look a little different this season, depending on how it's enforced. According to the Bills website, new tailgate rules will apply in the Bills parking lots. Some of the new rules: megaphones and horns are not allowed. Music also has to be at a reasonable level and avoid any profanities.
I understand that.
Sure.
Okay.
It also says no more selling of food and drinks. The website says that fans have to wrap up tailgating after kickoff, so gone are the days of watching the game in the parking lot or partying after. Fans say they'll lose those tailgaters who plan on staying in the lot through the game, but also say that these rules will be difficult to enforce.
I think it's going to be impossible to have all these people in here and come in and say you can't do this, you can't do that. I don't think that's going to fly. I don't see them doing that because there's people that come in here and come here just for the tailgate, so they stay in the parking lot.
So you miss out some of those folks. Again, it's a big party, so a lot of people are coming in that's just come to tailgate. We'll lose some of those folks if they're not able to stay.
And these rules apply, again, only to the team parking lots. Private lots will still be able to make their own rules. We'll get our first look at how those changes will impact Bills Mafia when the Panthers come to town next month for their preseason matchup with the Bills. And for the full impact, fans will have to wait until the first home game on September 17th when the Lions come to town. So yeah, it specifically says guests may bring and prepare food for consumption by their friends and family only. I mean, I'm not really giving out food to Joe Schmo 3 doors down anyway, but I suppose if he wanted a beer, he'd be like, yeah, of course he can have one.
Some of this seems, how are they going to enforce?
How are they going to
Is there going to be
enforce it?
tailgate police going out?
Well, I mean, there is security.
No. I mean, I can't imagine security is going to be concerned about this rather than the security of the fans.
Right. I mean, the rules also say, like, no getting drunk. Okay, well,
there's a public intoxication situation.
Sure. But and no,
flat out
yeah, it is,
no
and no binge drinking and no public intoxication. Well,
how did they define that?
I don't know, but also no drones. So I mean, that's something you need to know about. Okay. Also, no glass bottles. That's kind. I've seen a lot of glass bottles at Bills tailgates, but yeah, bring cans if you that's what is preferred, obviously. So the selling of stuff, who's selling food and beverages anyway? No sale of food or beverage and private catering companies on the lots. So again, there are like little kids who go around and sell candy bars as fundraisers.
Yeah, I got
They're not going to be allowed to do that? I guess. They're not supposed to, so don't get caught. And what's also prohibited is the selling of items or soliciting any promotional or marketing activities. So,
well, I think the key to all this are these new rules or these rules that have always been there, but they're just highlighted now.
Right, they're just
because we're moving to a new place.
Right. I think the one that I'm kind of bothered about, and I don't know whether it really will be enforced, is the no tailgating after the game. Because there are so many people who just fire up the grill again and cook their hot dogs and their hamburgers and have another drink as they're waiting for the lots to be cleared out.
Right.
And that's
well. Now,
was
it private lots? It's still okay, but
yes.
just in the bills, maybe they just kind of want to get people out of there and clean it up.
And they usually do, and they do a great job of that. Yeah, tailgating in Highmark Stadium parking lots conclude at kickoff. At this time, all guests must enter the stadium with their game ticket. Now, that doesn't say that you can't tailgate. I'm breaking this all down as I'm on the air. I'm sorry. And you know what? I've never really noticed how many people are watching the game from the lots because I'm
in the game.
If I'm there tailgating, I go in. So I don't know what happens outside.
Right.
So how much is going to be enforced? We'll have to take a look and see. But
to me, I can understand. I have a belief that the whole binge drinking or no getting, that's probably in every, it's a standard.
You have to write that down.
Yeah, you write that down. So I don't think that's new.
Now, something that kind of is fascinating, though, is that for the first time, the Bills are selling tailgate experiences that are put on by the Bills in the Bills lots.
Oh.
Are they going to try to make it more difficult to have a fun tailgate experience for everyone else? Because if you're going to have a really great tailgate experience, you got to pay for it with us. I don't know.
Another way to, kind of help pay for the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of paying for things, there's something that will be dropped by the Bills at 9:30 this morning that you will be able to pay for if you so choose to.
But we can't mention it.
We're not,
even though they've been talking about it on the radio.
I
don't understand.
That Pete Gwelly went on and announced what it was on WGR, but they have specifically said to us we're not allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
So we're not talking about it.
No.
But we will be able to talk about it after 9:30.
About the thing we can't talk about.
Is that a Seinfeld thing?
It's something. It's a bit from something.
Something. So we won't talk about said thing, but we will put it on social just after 9:30 after the Bills share it. And of course, we want to know what you think about it because Bills Mafia will always have a comment about that. So we'll talk about that later and certainly tomorrow here on Daybreak. But as for the Bills themselves and what's happening on the field, training camp, we're still on the air, Patrick.
The volume is off, the ringer is off, the thing still talks to me. I don't understand. I'll just turn it off.
Okay.
How about that?
No problem. Okay, veterans and rookies will come together on Wednesday at St. John Fisher. It's okay. We still love you. Training camp starts on Wednesday.
Yes.
And so the Bills will hold 7 open practices throughout training camp, the first of which is on Wednesday. Public practices kick off on Wednesday, also 8:30 in the morning. Fans were able to secure a maximum of 4 tickets this year for each public practice through a lottery. And the team has also been teasing across social media this weekend for something, again, that they're dropping at 9:30. So we'll talk about that.
Okay.
I'm excited for training camp to start. It'll be great to see everyone come together. I watched the Bills Embedded episode on YouTube about what they all did in the off season.
Oh, anything stand out?
So DJ Moore is really lovable and fun, and he was on the golf course and he was bowling, and he really seems like he is mature and will be a really good addition to the team. Chubb, I was having fun listening to him. He was mic'd up too. So having Bradley Chubb and DJ Moore as new team members, I think is great. Keon Coleman was in it, and he was fun too. Yeah, and Josh Allen was as lovable as ever interacting with.
What did he do?
He was interacting with a Make-A-Wish kid.
And
just
great.
Seeing them together and how much time he spent with this little boy, and the little boy created a run play for the team. It was during minicamp, and so he was explaining it to Joe Brady. Then Joe Brady explained it to the team, and they did this run play. And
awesome.
Of course, the little kid scored the touchdown, and they all lifted him up, and it was very emotional and very, very sweet.
That's very cool.
You saw the team going out into the community and interacting with different kids in schools. Just very lovable. It's just, of course they're going to come across that way as it's the Bills who are creating this own episode of Embedded, but you can watch it on YouTube. And then they'll do another one during training camp. So it'll be fun to see.
So Wednesday, and that it's 7 practices. Does that mean it goes through the following week and then maybe one other, as we know, they're not there very long.
Right.
So if it's only 7 open, then there's a few other closed practices.
There's closed practices.
So there's a total of maybe 9 there. Because whenever they come back for the blue and the red game, they're back for good. My point is they're there, but it's just a shorter window, which we've all discussed.
Right.
But given that it's starting, I mean, it's here, and they're going to be playing in their new stadium.
I'm curious, when they practice here, will it be on the turf?
It's going to be at their regular practice fields across the street. They will not be practicing on a day-to-day training camp at the stadium. They will at some point need to go in there.
Right, because I want them to practice on the turf.
But I heard...
Or on the grass, I should say.
No, you're right. But they may have some, but their general practices during training camp when they're in Orchard Park will be on there at the, across the street.
Did they create a fake grass field? They should, or they should find a grass field for them to practice.
Point. I just know.
Want them to get the feel of that.
Because they've got a couple fields back there. You wonder if they turn one into...
And like practicing on turf is going to be so different than their day-to-day.
But then again, remember, they had to play on grass even in a away game. That's a good point. You wonder if they did, or if they were able to get it in on time, because they would have had to install that this spring. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. But you're right. It's a very different experience. And training on grass is, I think, critical.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Chelsea, our sports team will be there, so be sure to watch us for complete coverage throughout training. I can't believe the training camp is here already.
How much of this training camp will be focused on game 1 against Houston? I can't get it out of my head that this is their first game. A team that they have not beaten in Houston in like 20 years. I mean, I love big games. Game 1. Remember last year, Ravens.
Oh, that Ravens comeback. Oh my gosh.
That
the Bills come back against the Ravens. I should say,
it was incredible.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can't get that game. We had game 1 against the Rams in 2022. The Rams were Super Bowl champions. We had to go play in LA, and the Bills beat them. So, it was another one of those daunting game 1s that loom, right?
And I really, yes, of course, I want the Bills to win game 1 of this season, but I especially want them to win game 2.
Right.
Can you imagine if they don't win in the
it's the NFL, man.
Opener?
Anything can happen. Yes, the pressure is on, and it's not, you want to win.
And to lose to the Lions, you don't want that to happen
Good team, though. Nothing's a shoo-in. You gotta. It's a tough, as we all know, 5 first games or 6. It's a doozy.
Yep. All right, we will have a lot more coming up after the break. Stay with us. Okay, I know we did a lot of talk about tailgating, but how cool is this? You know what that is?
Cool. Yeah, it's a table.
It's a folding table that's built into the high.
So as tame as the Bills want to seem to make tailgating in Bills lots, they're embracing the old school.
They're embracing the broken tables, yes, which Bills Mafia are known through, busting tables and jumping on them. And so this is in the concourse, and it's actually surrounding a bar. And then around the table, that's where those are you can put your cups there. Do you see that? Right there.
Yeah. It's like
you can stand. It's like a bar.
It's like a bar. Oh, that's great.
It's pretty cool.
And I'd love to know who came up with this idea and they actually made it happen.
Yeah, it's 20 feet tall. I can't wait to discover more things inside the stadium like that.
Or have other people and they tell us about it.
Right, because I'm never going to get in there. It's very, very cool. It's interesting, though, because the Bills have often not wanted the folding tables associated with them. I remember when we had that pep rally in front of City Hall.
Oh, yeah.
They specifically said, do not mention or
Who said that? The Bills?
The Bills said to us, don't allow people to have the folding tables there. We don't want that.
And now they have it in the stadium.
Now they're celebrating it.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I think it's cool, though. And I love those details, and I can't wait to see more of those details at the new Bills Stadium. Speaking of things that are ultimately Buffalo, if you're trying to plan dinner this week, you might want to save the wings for Wednesday. Those look horrible. And who eats a wing like that? Oh my gosh, this video. What? Oh, gross. It's like
what was wrong with that?
Wings from 1988, too. National Wing Day, National Chicken Wing Day is on Wednesday. So whether you like them hot, medium, or mild, flats or drums, doesn't really matter. It's just a day to celebrate the buffalo delicacy. By the way, the National Ew, gross.
Oh my.
The National Buffalo Wing Fest is at Salem Field on August 29th and 30th.
Why does video of people eating have to be so close up?
I don't.
Isn't it like a standard? Or whenever they do like gun smoking, they like go in real close under the person.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
I have learned through multiple, segments here where we have to eat. You have to take the tiniest bite ever, because even a normal sized bite on TV is amplified.
And you're expected to speak quickly, but if you've got a mouthful, right?
So, but wings, there's no easy way to, or lovely way to eat wings, especially on camera. And we are WingFest judges, and so taking pictures or having video of us eating wings is not great.
No.
But they are delicious.
They
and the
are.
Cajun honey butter barbecue are some of the best flavors. That's Josh Allen's flavor from Barbill. That's his favorite.
What's it? Cajun?
Cajun honey butter barbecue. Really good.
Sounds tasty. All right, so yeah, we're getting into that season. Oh my goodness, I mean, yeah. August is here. Their first home game is in like 6 weeks.
I know.
I remember sitting here in January talking about breaking news and a new coach, and here we are 7 months later, ready to dive in.
We've got weeks and weeks and weeks to break it all down and dissect every single detail from training camp. All right, remember, we will talk Bill's stuff tomorrow here on Daybreak.